The day the aliens came changed everything for Earth. It was a normal Tuesday when the 5 Earth ships were doing their job in space. Captain Hannah Kim sat in her chair on the main ship called Horizon. She was proud of their mission. Humans had just started to travel far into space, and her team was the first to go this far. "All systems good, Captain," said Nav, the young man at the front of the ship. His eyes were fixed on the screens that showed the deep black of space. Hannah smiled. "Keep us on this path. Let's see what's out there." Then the alarm started. Red lights flashed across the bridge. Ty jumped up from his science station, his face going pale. "Captain, something big just came out of nowhere. It's not on any of our charts." On the main screen, a dark shape grew larger. It was a ship, but like nothing humans had ever built. It was huge, at least 20 times bigger than the Horizon. "Send out the greeting message," Hannah ordered. Her voice was steady even though her heart beat fast. "All languages, all formats." The crew waited. Seconds turned into minutes. Then the screen lit up with the face of an alien. It had dark scaly skin, yellow eyes with no white parts, and stood much taller than any human. Behind it, more aliens moved around what looked like the control room of their ship. The alien looked at them and made a sound like rocks falling. Then it spoke in perfect English. "What are these tiny things?" it asked someone off-screen. "They send little toys into space." Hannah stood up straight. "This is Captain Hannah Kim of Earth Vessel Horizon. We come in peace." 6 months passed after the Horizon returned to Earth with its warning. 6 months of fear, planning, and hope that maybe the aliens wouldn't come. But they did. Joan Park watched the first alien ships appear in the sky from the window of his lab. He was one of Earth's best scientists, working day and night to find a way to fight the aliens. Now time had run out. "They're here," he said to Min, his friend and fellow scientist. "Bigger than we thought." The alien ships were huge black shapes that blocked the sun. There were hundreds of them. Earth's defense ships rose to meet them, looking tiny next to the giant alien vessels. "Seoul is being hit first," said a voice on the radio. "All people should go to shelters now." Jun's heart stopped. His wife and little girl were in Seoul visiting family. He tried to call them, but the phones weren't working anymore. "We need to get to the underground lab," Min said, pulling June away from the window. "There's nothing we can do up here." As they rushed to the special elevator that would take them deep underground, the first bombs hit. The building shook. Lights went out. They heard people screaming. "What kind of beings do this?" Min asked as they rode down in the dark elevator. "We did nothing to them." June held tight to a small photo from his pocket. His family smiled back at him from happier times. "They do it because they can," he said. "They think we are too weak to fight back." The underground lab was safe from the bombs. It had been built deep in a mountain after the Horizon came back with news of the aliens. 100 of Earth's best minds had been working there, trying to find a way to defeat the giant invaders. When June and Min arrived, the other scientists were watching screens that showed the attack. Cities were burning. Earth ships were being destroyed easily. The aliens weren't even trying hard. They just dropped bombs from high above, not caring what they hit. "Our weapons don't hurt their ships," said Dr. Lee, the old man who led the science team. "The metal is too strong." "Then we need to find another way," Jun said. He put his family photo on his desk where he could see it. "If we can't fight their ships, maybe we can fight them." For 3 days, the scientists stayed in the lab while the world burned above them. They took turns sleeping. They ate quick meals. They watched as the aliens took over Earth with little effort. On the 4th day, something new happened. The aliens came down from their ships. They were even bigger than they had looked on the Horizon screens. Each one was as tall as 3 humans. They had strong bodies covered in dark scales. Their yellow eyes glowed in the dark. "Look how they move," Jun said, studying the video feeds. "They're strong but slow. Their size makes them powerful but not quick." Min was looking at something else. They're suits, she said. They're wearing special breathing masks. Maybe our air is different from what they need. June felt a small spark of hope for the first time since the attack began. If they need special air, that means our world can hurt them in some way. Their bodies aren't made for Earth. Dr. Lee came to look at what they had found. You may be right. We need to learn everything about them. Their bodies, their food, their technology. Find their weakness. June nodded, looking again at his family photo. He didn't know if they were alive or dead, but he would find a way to fight back. For them. For everyone. The aliens think we are too small to matter, he said. But small things can be deadly too. A virus can't be seen, but it can kill. A drop of poison is tiny, but powerful. Even an atom is small, Min added quietly. But when it breaks, nothing is stronger. 3 years passed. Earth was no longer the home humans had known. The aliens, who called themselves the Drakari, ruled everything. They built huge towers in the burned cities. They took Earth's water, metals, and other treasures to their ships, and they put humans to work as slaves. June and Min were lucky, if you could call it that. Because they were scientists, the Drakari made them work in a lab instead of the mines where most humans were sent. The aliens wanted humans to help them understand Earth technology, simple as it seemed to them. Fix this human machine, a Drakari guard named Voz told them one morning. He dropped a broken computer on their table. Supreme Commander needs information from it. Yes, Master Voz, Jun said, keeping his eyes down. He had learned to look weak and scared. It was what the Drakari expected. After 3 years, June still didn't know if his family had lived or died. Sometimes he thought he saw his wife's face in crowds of human workers, but he was never sure, and he couldn't ask. The Drakari didn't let humans find their families. When Voz left the room, Min moved closer to June. "Did you see that?" she whispered. "See what?" "His breathing mask. It has a new filter. They keep changing them." June nodded. For 3 years, they had been watching the Drakari, learning everything about them. The aliens never thought humans could understand their science, so they didn't hide much. Earth air must hurt them in some way, June said. Even after all this time, they can't breathe it. Later that day, a young man was brought to their lab. His name was Ta. He looked thin and tired. The Drakari guard pushed him toward June. "This one worked on human spaceships," the guard said. "Use him." When the guard left, Ta looked around the lab with sharp eyes. "You're Jun Park," he said quietly. "I know your work. I was on the horizon when the Drakari first came." June felt his heart beat faster. Someone from the horizon might know things that could help them. "We need to talk," he told Ta. "But not here." He pointed at small black balls near the ceiling. The Drakari put them everywhere to watch humans. That night, in the sleeping rooms where the lab workers lived, June, Min, and Ta found a corner away from the watching eyes. Many Drakari didn't bother checking the sleeping rooms closely. They thought humans were too tired after work to cause trouble. "I've been watching the Drakari ships," Ta said, "before they caught me. Their technology is amazing, but they have a blind spot." "What do you mean?" Min asked. "They only care about big things. Their scanners look for metal, energy, weapons. They don't bother with small things." Ta's eyes were bright in the dark room. "When we were on the horizon, our science tools could see much smaller things than theirs can." June felt a spark of the same hope he had felt 3 years ago. "You mean they don't look for things on a very small scale, like cells or molecules?" Ta nodded. "Exactly. They think big, build big, fight big, but they miss what's tiny." Min leaned closer. "We've noticed their breathing problems. Earth air hurts them somehow." "Not the air itself," Ta said. "I think it's the small living things in our air. Bacteria, viruses. Their bodies have never met these things before. They have no defense." June fought hard. "So their bodies are weak against Earth's small life forms. But they've been here 3 years. Why aren't they all sick yet? The masks, Min said. The filters. They clean everything. Ta smiled for the first time. But what if we made something their filters can't catch? Something new. Something they've never seen before. Something smaller. June felt a chill. You're talking about a weapon. A tiny weapon. Ta nodded. I am. The smallest, deadliest weapon humans have ever made. The plan started small, just like the weapon they hoped to make. June, Min, and Tai needed help. They needed someone who knew about living things too small to see. There was a doctor working in the East mining camp, Min said one night. Sue. She studied very small life forms before the Drakari came. How do we find her? June asked. We can't just walk out of here. Ta had been thinking about this. There's a network, he said. People who pass messages between work camps. I found them 2 weeks ago. The next day, they sent their first message through this secret network. It was simple. Looking for Dr. Sue. Medical knowledge needed. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Then one day, a new worker came to clean their lab. As she swept near June's table, she whispered, Sue will meet you. 3 days. Night shift. 3 days later, when most humans were sleeping and the Drakari guards were fewer, a small woman with short gray hair was brought to their lab by the same cleaner. Sue looked older than her years. Working in the mines did that to people. You're looking for me, she said. Her voice was rough but strong. They took her to their hidden corner in the sleeping room. June explained their idea. We need to make something that can hurt the Drakari, he said. Something so small their filters can't catch it. Something that targets only them, not us. Sue thought for a long time. You're talking about changing life forms, she said. Making new ones that attack only the Drakari. It's possible, but I need tools, labs. We have some, Min said. Not much, but some. The Drakari let us use basic tools because they think we're too simple to understand their science. Tad leaned forward. We need to know what makes the Drakari different from us. Their blood, their cells. I can help with that, said a quiet voice. They turned to see a thin man listening from the shadows. His name was Hyun. He cleaned the rooms where hurt Drakari were fixed when they got sick or injured. I've seen their blood, Hyun said. It's blue, not red like ours. And their skin cells are different too. Over the next month, their group grew. Each person brought special knowledge. Each took a small risk to help. Samples of Drakari blood were stolen. Skin cells were taken from the breathing masks they threw away. Slowly, they learned how the aliens' bodies worked. Their cells are bigger than ours, Sue said one night as she looked through a small microscope they had hidden. And they're weaker against changes in temperature. But the most important thing, June added, is that they have never met Earth's diseases. Their bodies don't know how to fight them. So we make a new disease, Hyun asked, looking worried. What if it changes and hurts humans too? Sue shook her head. Not a disease exactly. Something better. Something we can control. She looked at Ta. You worked with machines on spaceships. What about very, very small machines? Tae's eyes widened. Nanomachines. Tiny robots. Sue nodded. Tiny robots that look for Drakari cells and break them. Too small to see. Too small for their filters to catch. And they only attack Drakari biology, not human. Can we make such things? Min asked. We have so little to work with. We have our minds, Jun said firmly. We have knowledge they think is too simple to matter. And we have something else they don't expect. What's that? Hyun asked. June looked at each person in their small group. Hope. And nothing is more dangerous than a small creature with hope. He took out his family photo, now worn and faded. They took everything from us. Now we take everything from them. Making the tiny machines took 6 months of secret work. The humans had to be careful. They stole small things from the lab, one piece at a time. They worked at night when most guards were not watching. Sometimes they made mistakes, and had to start over. The nanomachines need to be just right, Sue explained to the group, which now had 12 people. They must find Drakari cells, break them, then make more of themselves using parts from the broken cells. Like a virus, but not alive, Ty added. Every day was dangerous. If the Drakari found out what they were doing, all the humans would be killed. But step by step, they made progress. One night, June looked at a drop of liquid under their hidden microscope. In that drop were thousands of nanomechans, too small to see with just eyes. They're ready, he told the others. Now we need someone to take them to a place where they'll spread to many Drakari. The room went quiet. Everyone knew this was the hardest part. The person who did this might not live. I'll do it, said a voice. It was young Jin, a man who had joined their group a month ago. He had been a farmer before the Drakari came. I cleaned the big meeting room where Commander Vrak eats and drinks. I can put the nanomachines in his water. It's very dangerous, Min warned. If they catch you. Young Jin's face was hard. They killed my whole family the first day they came. I have nothing left to lose. 3 days later, young Jin had the tiny bottle of clear liquid hidden in his clothes. It didn't look dangerous, but it held millions of nanomachines. That morning, Commander Vrak was meeting with other Drakari leaders. They were planning to take more humans to a new work camp. Young Jin was sent to bring them water. He put the glasses on a tray and carried them into the big room. The Drakari didn't even look at him. He was too small to notice, just a human servant. With steady hands, young Jin poured water into each glass. When he got to Commander Vrak's glass, he let 3 drops from the tiny bottle fall into the water. The liquid looked the same. No one could tell anything was different. The Drakari drank. Commander Vrak drank the most, emptying his glass. Young Jin left the room and went back to his regular work. His part was done. That night, young Jin didn't come back to the sleeping room. The others worried. Maybe they caught him, Hyun said. Maybe they know what we did. No, Jun said. If they knew, they would have come for all of us. 3 days passed. The humans watched and waited. Nothing seemed different. Had their plan failed? Then on the 4th day, something happened. Commander Vrak didn't come to the lab for his usual check. The guards seemed confused, talking to each other in worried voices. Hyun, who cleaned the medical room, came to Jun with news. Commander Vrak is sick, he whispered. Blue blood is coming from his eyes and mouth. The Drakari doctors don't know what's wrong. And the other leaders who were at the meeting? Tai asked. 3 more are showing the same signs, Hyun said. The Drakari are scared. They've never seen this before. That night, a message came through their secret network. Young Jin had been moved to work in the air system rooms. He was safe, and he had put more nanomachines into the air system that went to all Drakari living areas. June looked at his old family photo. It's starting, he told the others. The Drakari think the air is making them sick. They'll check their filters, their water, their food, but they won't think to look for something so small it can't be seen. Sue smiled a cold smile. They said we were too small to matter. Now the smallest things we made will be their end. The sickness spread fast among the Drakari. Within 2 weeks, hundreds were sick. The big aliens were scared. They had never faced anything like this before. Bring the human doctors, the new Drakari commander ordered. His name was Kaz, and he had taken over when Vrak became too sick to lead. Sue and 3 other human doctors were taken to the Drakari Medical Center. They pretended to be surprised by what they saw. Blue-skinned aliens lay on beds, their breathing masks not helping anymore. Blue blood came from their eyes, ears, and mouths. What is happening to them? Kaz demanded. Fix this. Sue looked at the sick Drakari with fake worry. It might be something in your air system, she suggested, or maybe a new earth sickness your bodies haven't met before. The Drakari believed her. They began testing their air, water, and food. They changed all the filters in their breathing masks. They cleaned everything with strong chemicals. But nothing helped. More got sick each day. Back in the lab, June and the others watched as their plan worked. The Nanomachines were spreading exactly as they had hoped. Each Drakari who got sick spread the tiny machines to others. How long until they figure it out? Min asked one night. Maybe never, Ta said. They don't think to look for things as small as our nanomachines. Their technology doesn't work that way. Then something unexpected happened. A Drakari ship landed, bringing a special doctor from their home world. His name was Dr. Morv, and he was smarter than the others. Dr. Morv looked at blood from the sick Drakari under a powerful microscope. He saw something moving in the blood, the nanomachines. These are not natural, he shouted to Kaz. These are tiny machines. Someone made these to attack us. The Drakari were angry and afraid. They began checking all humans for signs of making the nanomachines. They searched the labs and sleeping rooms. They'll find us soon, June told the group. We need to move our plan to the next step. Sue had been thinking ahead. The nanomachines are already in most Drakari here on Earth, but we need to get them to their ships and their home world. Hyun had an idea. They're taking sick Drakari up to the big ships for better care. If the nanomachines are in those sick ones, they'll spread on the ships too. They were right. As sick Drakari were moved to the ships, the nanomachines went with them. Soon, Drakari were getting sick on every ship. The day came when Dr. Moore found their hidden lab tools. Guards came for June, Min, Tai, and Sue. You did this, Kaz shouted, his voice shaking with anger. You made this sickness. June didn't deny it. There was no point now. You came to our world, he said. You killed our people. You thought we were too small to fight back. You will all die for this, Kaz threatened. But something strange was happening. Kaz's words became unclear. Blue blood began running from his nose. He had caught the sickness too. As Kaz fell to the floor, a message came through on the Drakari communication system. One of their big ships had lost all power. Everyone on board was sick or dead. The nanomachines had reached the ship's systems and damaged them. More messages came. Ship after ship reported the same problems. The Drakari on Earth were too sick to help. Their mighty fleet was failing. They never respected small things, Ta said as they watched the Drakari guards also fall sick. Not small people, not small life forms, not small machines. That was their mistake. Sue looked at June. What happens when they're all gone? What happens to Earth then? June thought of his family photo. He didn't know if his loved ones still lived. But now, at least, humans had a chance for freedom again. Then we rebuild, he said simply, and we remember to respect all life, no matter how small. The next 3 weeks changed everything. The Drakari tried to fight the tiny machines that were killing them, but they couldn't. Their numbers dropped every day. The mighty aliens who had thought themselves so powerful were dying. High in space, their great fleet was in chaos. On the biggest ship of all, Supreme Commander Ezrock watched reports come in from Earth and other ships. His yellow eyes were wide with fear. What do you mean all the Earth bases are falling? He shouted at the screen. We have 10,000 soldiers there. Most are sick or dead. Supreme Commander, said the shaking voice from Earth. The humans made tiny machines that. The voice stopped. The screen went black. Ezrock turned to his officers. Prepare all weapons. We will burn the Earth's surface. Kill everything. Start fresh. But his own ship had problems now. The engines weren't working right. The weapons wouldn't charge. And the crew. Many were already showing signs of the sickness. How did they get here? Ezrock demanded. We never brought sick Drakari to this ship. An officer looked up from a screen. The supply ships, sir. They visited Earth last week. They must have brought the tiny machines with them. Ezrock felt a strange feeling in his chest. For the first time in his long life, he felt fear of another species. These humans, so small and weak, had found a way to defeat the mighty Drakari. "Send a message to the homeworld," he ordered. "Tell them not to let any ships from Earth return. Tell them." He stopped as blue blood began to drip from his nose. The tiny machines had found him too. Back on Earth, humans began to come out of hiding. As more Drakari fell sick, the guards at work camps stopped coming. Humans started helping each other, sharing food, looking for lost family members. June, Min, Tai, and the others were let go when their Drakari guards became too sick to watch them. They joined the growing crowds of free humans. "What's happening with the Drakari ships?" Tai asked, looking up at the sky where the dark shapes still hung. "Our friends in the communications center say most ships have stopped working," Hyun told them. "The Nanomachines got into their systems and broke them." Sue was helping sick humans in what used to be a Drakari medical center. "The Nanomachines only hurt Drakari," she explained to those who were scared. "They can't hurt humans. We made them that way." One morning, Jun was walking through what used to be a Drakari base. Bodies of the aliens lay everywhere. Their breathing masks hadn't saved them. Their big weapons hadn't helped. The tiny machines had been stronger than everything. As he walked, Jun saw something moving ahead, a human shape, a woman looking through the rooms, as if searching for someone. His heart stopped. He knew that shape, that way of moving. "Mai-cha," he called, his voice breaking. The woman turned. Her face was thinner, her hair was gray now, but it was her, his wife. "June," she whispered, "is it really you?" They ran to each other. 3 years of pain and loss fell away as they held each other tight. "Our daughter?" June asked, afraid to hear the answer. Mai-cha's eyes filled with tears, but she was smiling. "She's alive. She's with others at the old school building. She never gave up hope that we would find you." June felt tears on his face. In all the darkness, in all the fighting, he had never let himself hope too much. But now, "The Drakari are gone," he told his wife. "Humans are free again." "How did it happen?" she asked. "Everyone says it was some kind of sickness." June looked up at the silent ships in the sky. "They thought we were too small to fight back. They never looked for the smallest weapons of all." 1 year passed since the day the Drakari began to fall. Earth was healing, but slowly. The big alien ships still hung in the sky, empty and dark. Humans worked to rebuild their cities and find new ways to live. June, Mai-cha, and their daughter Sun lived in a small house near what used to be the science lab. June and Min still worked there, but now they used the Drakari tools to help Earth, not to serve aliens. One morning, Tae rushed into the lab with big news. "We got it working," he shouted. His face was bright with excitement. "The Drakari communication system. We can hear what's happening in space now." Everyone gathered around as Tae turned on the system. Strange voices filled the room. But they weren't Drakari voices. They were different alien sounds. "What is it?" Sue asked. "Who's talking?" Ta worked with the machine for a few minutes. "It's coming from other worlds," he said. "Worlds the Drakari ruled before they found Earth. They're talking about us." Over the next few days, they learned more. The Drakari had ruled over 20 different alien worlds. When ships from Earth reached those worlds, the Nanomachines had spread there too. Now all those people were free. "We didn't just save Earth," Min said quietly. "We saved 20 other worlds too." But not everyone was happy about this. Some humans worried about what they had done. "We killed a whole species," Hyun said during a meeting. "The Drakari were bad, yes. But did they all need to die?" This question troubled many people. Had humans become as bad as the Drakari by killing them all? Then came surprising news. Not all Drakari were dead. Some had been far from Earth when the Nanomachines spread. They had stayed away and lived. One day, a small ship appeared in the sky. It wasn't a big Drakari warship. It was smaller with white markings. "They want to talk," Ta told the others after listening to their message. The last Drakari want to meet with humans. People were scared and angry. Many didn't want to let any Drakari near Earth again. But in the end, they agreed to a meeting. 5 humans went to meet the ship when it landed. Jun, Su, Ta, Min, and Du, who now led the new human government. Only 3 Drakari came out of the ship. They looked thinner than the Drakari who had ruled Earth. They wore simple clothes, not war armor. "We are the last free Drakari," said their leader, who called herself Vela. "There are only a few thousand of us left." "Why are you here?" Du asked. His voice was hard. "Your people tried to kill us all." Vela lowered her head. "We know what our people did. We were wrong. We were taught that bigger meant better, stronger, more important. We never respected smaller life." "And now?" Jun asked. "Now we understand," said Vela. "Small things can change everything. Small choices, small acts of peace or war, small machines." She looked at each human. "We ask for peace. We cannot hurt you now. We just want to live." The 5 humans stepped away to talk in private. "Can we trust them?" Su asked. "They're few now," Min said. "They've learned what it means to be the small ones, the weak ones." Jun thought of all the pain the Drakari had caused. He thought of the years without his family. He thought of all the humans who had died. "If we kill them all," he said slowly, "we become what they were. If we make peace, we become something better." When they returned, Du spoke for all humans. "We will try peace," he said, "but slowly, carefully." Vela nodded. "That is fair. We have much to learn from those we once thought too small to matter." 5 years passed since the Drakari fell. Earth looked different now. The empty alien ships had been taken apart piece by piece. Humans learned much from the Drakari technology. Cities grew again, but they were greener, with more trees and parks. Ta stood on a hill, looking at the new city that had once been Seoul. Beside him stood Vela, the Drakari leader who had sought peace. She was shorter than other Drakari, which was why she had been kind to smaller beings even before the war. "Your people have built back so fast," she said. Her voice was soft now, not the hard voice Drakari once used with humans. "We had help," Ta said. Other alien ships had come to Earth after the Drakari fell. These aliens had also been ruled by the Drakari. They came bringing thanks and friendship. Today was a special day. Representatives from 21 worlds were meeting on Earth. They called it the Council of Free Worlds. Jun, now an old man with white hair, was Earth's main speaker. In a big round room, beings of all sizes sat together. Some were tall like the Drakari. Some were smaller than humans. Some had 6 legs or 4 arms or skin that changed colors. But all had one thing in common. They had all been thought too small to matter by the Drakari. Jun walked to the center of the room. His wife Maicha and their daughter Sun sat nearby, watching proudly. Su, Min, and others from the old resistance were there too. 25 years ago, Jun began, the Drakari came to Earth. They thought we were too small and weak to fight back. They were wrong. He looked at Vela and the few Drakari who now lived peacefully with humans. But in our victory, we learned something important. Being powerful is not about size. It's about wisdom. A small blue alien no bigger than a child stood up. "The Drakari ruled my world for 500 years. We never found a way to fight until your nanomachines freed us. We thank you." One by one, aliens from different worlds spoke. Each had a story of pain under Drakari rule. Each had found freedom when the nanomachines spread. Then Vela stood. The room went quiet. Some still hated the Drakari, even the peaceful ones. "My people were wrong," she said. "We thought bigger meant better. We never saw the beauty in small life, small worlds, small acts of kindness." She looked around the room. "The few Drakari left have learned. We asked to join your council, not as rulers, but as equals, as the smallest voice at the table." The room was silent for a long time. Then an old alien with skin like tree bark stood. On my world, we have a saying. The smallest seed can grow the biggest tree. The Drakari were once the biggest tree, casting shadows on us all. Now they are seeds. Let us see what new thing they might grow into. One by one, the council members voted. In the end, they agreed. The remaining Drakari would join the Council of Free Worlds. After the meeting, June walked in the garden with his family and friends. Son, now a young woman, asked her father a question. Do you ever regret making the nanomachines? They killed so many. June was quiet for a moment. I regret that we had no other choice, but I don't regret freeing Earth and all these other worlds. Ta joined them, smiling. The universe has changed. Now, all beings respect each other, no matter their size. Min laughed, and it all started because some aliens thought humans were too small to matter. Sue pointed to the stars coming out in the evening sky. Look how many worlds are out there. I wonder what other small things might change the universe next. June looked up at the stars with hope. The lesson had been hard, but now all new. In this vast universe, nothing is too small to matter.